Hey, man, thank you guys for watching the content, watching all of the interviews. Make sure you like, subscribe, and also leave a comment, man. Vibing with Vito. Just take 1 second out your day and leave a comment, like, or subscribe. Let's get back to the interview. Okay, we live in the crib, Vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube at Vibing with Vito. Also follow us on the Instagram at Vibing with Vito. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher. And today, I have a special guest in the building. Introduce yourself.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Smartphone Billionaire, and I'm glad to be here.
Nah, for sure. I want to shout out our sponsors. I haven't done that today, but shout out to our sponsors. Purpose Over Popularity. It's the new clothing line dropping for the podcast, so y'all stay tuned. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, bro, thank you for coming to Vibe. Like I said, I like your watch, bro. You killing the game right now. You know what I'm saying? So I got a question, man. Everybody that sits on this couch, I have the honor to ask them. Now I have the honor to ask you. How big would you dream if you knew you couldn't fail?
As big as possible.
Yeah, for sure. How
about you?
Man, look, dreaming big is what I do, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't even look at failure as failure. It's a learning opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, for sure. Tell me a little bit about yourself, man. Because Brendan gave me a call. He was like, bro, I got one of my partners in town. You know what I'm saying? I'd love for you to interview him. So now the floor is yours.
My name's Smartphone Billionaire. I pretty much help people turn content and credit into cash flow and to create freedom for themselves.
Damn, okay. So how long have you been doing that?
About 5 years.
Okay. What's your ultimate purpose when it comes down to like your business and like what you stand for? What's your ultimate purpose?
Really helping people understand what they don't know so they can get where they want to go faster.
Yeah, facts. So when you say, okay, so let's get more in depth. So when did you start your company? You know what I'm saying? How did you come up with the idea, and what are some of the things that you're trying to implement into society today?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur since high school. You know, we used to sell candy back in the day, and I got introduced to like MLM when I first got started. Probably was like 18 or 19 years old, and that's what catapulted my entrepreneurship journey. You know, I had to go out there and convince people to want to buy products and services that they like unfamiliar with. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of like the hardest part of entrepreneurship. But then you obviously, you know, you ever heard of MLM? Like network marketing?
Yeah.
Like some people call it like a pyramid scheme, but that's pretty much what gave me my my kickstart to entrepreneurship.
Okay, for sure. I have a slogan that I always say: purpose over popularity. When I say that slogan, how does that resonate with like your life and your world?
It means that you want to do things that are gonna impact people versus kind of like do things that just gonna make you feel like, I would say like arrogant, you know what I'm saying? So it's like impact over income.
Nah, that's hard. Damn, impact over income. You just gave me another slogan, nigga. That wasn't even. Nah, that's hard. So speaking of slogans, I went to church today, so there was a question that was asked, and I want to ask you the same question, man. I just asked my guests on the last episode, and I have the honor to ask you too as well. If you can instantly become an expert in any skill or hobby, what would it be and why?
Pretty much what I'm doing, how to get access to capital. Because once you know how to get access to capital, you know how to scale any business.
Okay. So how do you start and how do you scale businesses and stuff like that?
The first thing you got to do is get the information. So you got to learn a high income skill, kind of like podcasting. You know, it's not easy to interview somebody. So once you learn how to do that, and then you got access to capital, now you can buy the right kind of equipment. Now you can get the right kind of, studio like you guys got here versus, having that struggle podcast that, is not really getting out there, getting in front of the people you want to, because you might not have the money to invest into your company.
Yeah, facts. So what do you see like the top 3 things that people who start businesses go wrong at? Like, what are the top 3 things that you kind of see that's kind of like something that like we kind of lack and struggle with?
A lot of people got the figure it out method. So they don't have enough information to execute at a high level. And then also they got trash ass marketing. Like they don't know how to market themselves in a way that's going to resonate with their ideal customer. And they don't have no money. So it's like starting a business in America, you're going to need some type of capital to invest in shit like ads, equipment, or what. It depends on the kind of business you got. But 97% of businesses fail in 2 years just because they don't got good marketing and bad systems and lack of capital. So having good money, if you got capital, now you can like pay a person that's good at marketing. You could hire operations manager. You can really scale your business without having a lot of skills.
Facts. So in business, like what are the top positions that like how is a business supposed to be structured?
Just like I would tell anybody a business is supposed to be structured like a business. So a lot of the times we get into business and we turn ourselves into freelancers. So we quit one job to work another job 24/7. So if you start a business, the first thing you want to do is obviously learn the information, but you want to start to buy back your time. So find things that you don't like doing in your business that need to be done, whether that's maybe sales calls or client success support. And you want to start to outsource that kind of work. So now you can spend your time doing the things that make the company the most money.
Damn. Okay. So when you say outsourcing the work, like, for the people that don't know what that means, give them the game.
So you can go to places like Online Jobs, Upwork, Fiverr. You can find people in like the Philippines, Pakistan, India, and a lot of them got skills. I know when I say that, people like, why would I hire one of these people in my company? It's because you don't have to pay them as much as an American when you first getting started. You know, because if I just got started today, I can't afford to pay somebody $20 an hour, but I definitely can afford to pay somebody $4 to $5 an hour and put them on a part-time basis so they can start, you know, helping me implement stuff.
Dang. I never really thought about that, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like Fiverr is like a site that's like great, you know what I'm saying? So for you to say that, I feel like every person that's either a podcasting or doing some type of business, some form of business should kind of take heed to that.
Exactly.
For sure. In terms of like, in terms of just like your ultimate purpose and stuff like that, what do you find the most joy in, you know what I'm saying, in terms of like what you're doing?
Doing this, giving back. Like if I teach people how they can get there faster, I ain't no hater. Like I ain't no gatekeeper. So if I put you on and you start blowing up and you don't got to go through the trials and the tribulations that I did, that makes me feel good, because it's like seeing somebody have success. I know that that's one less person outside robbing people, you know, going through depression and ultimately raising kids that's going to repeat that same cycle.
Damn. Where you from, bro? I hear accent.
What do you think?
Philly.
Baltimore.
Oh, okay. I wasn't close, but y'all niggas talk just alike though.
It's kind of like
that's crazy. That's crazy. So like, are you just down here just for like you're doing podcasts, or like you doing a media run?
I had a bunch of stuff to do, so I had like some events. I also had some like coaching I had to do. I don't live in Baltimore no more. I don't move. You know what I'm saying? I live in Florida now.
Okay. Damn, so you done got money and said, I'm leaving.
Yeah, bro. I used to be in the hood, bro. Like every day, I would drive out my house and I would go see 15-year-olds and they'd be like leaning off Percocets. And I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to see this every day. I want to see Ferraris. I want to see Lamborghinis. I want to see success, because proximity is everything. So if you get around the stuff that you want, it makes you feel like you could actually get it. But if I'm just in the hood, seeing crackheads, you know, seeing dope boys, seeing things like that, it's kind of brainwashed me to feel like that's the only avenue. So I always tell people, change your environment if you want to change your situation.
Damn, change your environment so you can change your situation. Let's talk about your upbringing. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, like, you were raised in Baltimore and stuff like that. So what?
Between New York and Baltimore.
Okay. So how did those two places kind of shape you into the man that you are today?
They give you that grit. You know, a lot of people ain't been through shit. So when they go through something in business, it's like, it seems like the worst thing. But when you grow up and you got to move a lot, or you don't, sometimes you got to eat sleep for dinner, it kind of give you that strap on your back, like that battery on you. You're like, man, this shit has to work. There's no plan B. Like, I got to make this work no matter what's being thrown at me.
Facts. Those two places are kind of like parallel, but they're kind of similar too as well. What do you feel like? What do you feel like Baltimore? Like how? Let's just say, let's talk about Baltimore. What's the unique things about that city?
I would say the unique things about Baltimore is it has its own individualistic culture. So like a lot of people from Baltimore, you know, we got our own kind of swag. You know, we talk a certain kind of way, and we all kind of like, we want to be fly, we want to get money, we just don't know the path there. Versus in New York, there's a lot more opportunities there for people to make more money. So it's kind of like the same type of situation, but it's better environments that you go tap into.
Yeah, facts. So going to Miami, you said that kind of changed the proximity and stuff like that. Like okay, let's talk about that, like your mind frame, like, because you had to think like that in order to say, look, I'm making that move. So when you transition to Miami, let's talk about like that coming from Baltimore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how did that further your growth in business and just different things like that, life as well too?
I went to 12 schools, so I was already moving a lot.
Wait, 12 schools? What you mean, nigga?
Like 12 schools.
You went to 12 schools?
Bro, I went to like 4
schools. Okay. I'm thinking you're talking
like
about like colleges and shit. I'm like,
went to 2 colleges.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I went to a lot of schools, so it kind of like, it prepared me to be uncomfortable, because every time I move, I got to meet new friends, I got to build connections. So it kind of made it easy to always know how to like communicate with people and kind of get uncomfortable, because my mom's broke. She think, oh shit, let's move. It might be easier, but she didn't have like a high income skill or kind of like know the things about finances that we know today because of the internet wasn't as popular. So we would struggle. So then obviously, you know, I had to tap into the information and then change my situation.
That's crazy. That's dope. How did you link with Brendan?
Same thing, tapping into the information. So I seen him going crazy, and then we kind of connected, and that's when he started pairing me with people that can get the message out there more.
Yeah, facts. Damn, that's dope. Brendan's a super instrumental guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my guy, man. In terms of that, when you kind of look at your life in totality, do you feel like you're doing God's work?
Absolutely. People tell me that all of the time, bro. They be like, man, you're a godsend just because of how much free game I might give somebody. Like, I don't only help a person that pays me. I might help a person a little bit more, obviously, but if I'm walking down the street and I feel like I can give somebody some game, I'm gonna give it to them.
So you said you get people funding, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So like, let's talk about that. Like, what are some of the things that people need before they start looking for funding?
They need an idea. So a lot of people look at funding and it makes them lazy, but they don't realize you got to do a lot of foundational work before you get a bank to give you money. Because why would you take $50,000 from, let's say, Chase Bank, and you don't even know how to invest it in your business? So I always tell people, get started first with whatever you got going, and then build traction, start to get it off the ground. And then once shit going smooth, now go get the funding, because now you're going to add gasoline to the fire.
Damn. So what do they need to have? When I say that, like, what do they need to have? Like, is it a credit score? Is it this? What do people need in order to get to that next level? Because a lot of times, like you said, people do see, oh, I just want money, but they don't have a plan. What are the top 5 things that a person needs to scale their business and to grow?
So if it's a brand new business owner or like somebody who kind of already existing?
You tell me. Like,
so if it's a brand new business owner and they want to be able to get access to capital, they got to get their credit right, because a bank not going to give somebody money that don't look like they're going to pay them back. So if you got collections on your credit report, they like, this person ain't gonna pay me back. If you got late payments on your credit report, they definitely not gonna pay me back.
Late payments on business or what?
Nah, on personal. It's a personal credit report, because think about it. Your business just started. It don't got no revenue. It probably it can't stand on its own. So they're gonna look at the person running the company first. So that's why your personal credit got to be in order if it's a new business that's not generating any revenue.
That's crazy. So when you say like collections, like, do you help people like get things off of their credit in order to get those things?
Yeah, so a lot of people tap in with me, like they're business owners, and if they're not making enough money to get the like revenue-based lending, then it's like, bro, we got to get your credit right. So then we'll start helping them get the collections off, charge-offs, repos, bankruptcies, child support, anything on there holding it back.
Damn, that's crazy. And do you see their credit jump like immensely after that happens?
Absolutely, because think about it. If you got fucked up shit on your credit, it's not going to remove itself. So you either have to learn the information yourself or hire a professional to get that shit off of there. So now you can move forward. It's just like extra weight on your body, you know what I'm saying? So you got to remove it in order to be your optimal self.
Damn, that's crazy. What are some things that you do daily to keep your mind sharp?
I'm going to keep it 100 with you, bro. Like, this shit normal for me because I got started so young. And I had like good coaches and shit. So the one thing they told us to do was turn off the TV and turn on our life. And whatever you tune into, you turn into. So I stopped listening to Future. I stopped listening to Gucci Mane. I stopped listening to all of this trap rap. And I started listening to more audiobooks. I started listening to more motivational speakers. And I did that for like a whole 2 years. Like, I ain't listening to no music. So doing that, I feel like programmed me for success. And I always tell people, like, God forbid if I ever got shot, I feel like a bullet would bounce off just because of how much I've worked on my mindset. And it's bulletproof.
Damn, that's crazy. So you said you went 2 years without listening to music.
Yeah, niggas thought I was weird. They thought I was weird. They get in my car, bro, I'm playing audios. They're like, oh, this guy's weird, bro.
Damn, that's crazy. What was one of the books or one of the audiobooks that you listened to that really like changed your whole perspective on life?
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Make sure you write that down. Nah. Okay. And so again, like, so when you say you stopped doing all this stuff, how did you know that that's the direction you needed to go in? I'm trying to really pick your brain and stuff like that. So like, so let's tap in. Let's kind of dive deep in terms of, okay, I want to stop listening to music. What's the first things, like, how did you know that I want to listen to these certain type of books, be around these certain type of people? Like, how did you train your mind to even do that?
I just look for people who were executing at a high level. It's just like you. If you want to, let's say, be the biggest podcaster in the world, how are you going to do that? You're going to go find somebody that's the biggest podcaster in the world. You're going to study them. And if they got a program, be like, shit, let me tap into it. Let me learn. And that's what I did. I started tapping into programs. And in those programs, they would be telling us, like, you feeding bullshit to your mind. So a lot of us, we already got trauma. Like, we grew up broke. We grew up in one family households, but we're not fixing ourselves if we poisoning ourselves, listening to fucked up music. You know what I'm saying? We growing up in bad environments. So it's kind of like, you know what I mean? So it's like, whatever you see is real to us. So that's why you gotta put what you want in your brain, because your brain don't know what's true. If you tell your brain you sick, you're gonna start to feel sick. But if you tell your brain, like, I'm the most handsome person in the world, you're gonna start to believe it. Even if everybody else don't, they gonna start to believe it too. So like, telling yourself positive things can really change your situation.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. What's your mantra each and every day to set yourself up for success?
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Say it again.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Damn. Okay. Cool. But how does that how does that correlate with your life though? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are some things like each and every day? Like, what's your mantra? I wake up today and I do X, Y, and Z.
I get to work, bro. Like, I ain't gonna cap. I ain't one of those people that gotta, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm not spiritual, but I get the day started. As soon as I wake up, I go straight to my home office and I get to work. And sometimes I might even not even brush my teeth or get the shower, you know what I'm saying? Just because I get straight to the bag. And then after I kind of figure out what I'm gonna do for the day, then I might hop in the shower, you know, decompress a little bit. Then I get right back in my office. Sometimes I'll be on Zoom calls and shit with just like a polo on and basketball shorts, just, doing consultation calls, doing coaching calls, really putting people on. So I ain't one of those people like, oh, I gotta read a book, I gotta do this. Nah, nigga, I gotta get straight to the work. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to avoid the working out. I do work out, but I'm saying I'm not trying to avoid the work. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. They want to read this book, they want to meditate, they want to do all of these things. These motherfuckers done spent 3 hours doing nothing. They could have already got their business moving in the first part of the day versus it's lunchtime now. Your ass ain't do shit.
Damn, what time do you wake up each and every day?
When I'm finished sleeping.
What you mean, nigga?
Like, I don't got no alarm.
You don't got no alarm.
So whenever my body just wakes me up, usually it's around like 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Because the reason why I asked that is because I was looking at like I think Warren Buffett was saying if you wake up like 2 hours early, then you're ahead of the people by 2 hours each and every day.
I ain't gonna care. I love sleep though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tried to go to college. When I went to college, I tried to get the early classes, and I realized, I'm tripping, bro. Like, I'm sleeping in the class.
Yeah.
I'm either missing it, so I'm like, I'm not a morning person. So I feel like success is individualistic, and a lot of the times people try to sell us their method, but there's a lot of ways you can be successful in your own arena. Like, you don't gotta get up early to be successful. You don't gotta do it their way. You can do it your own way, and that's what I figured out how to do.
Yeah, facts. Do you listen to rap now?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I was just bumping that new Meek, that little Proud of Me.
Yeah, that's was that with Friday?
Yep.
That's crazy. So like, all right, after the 2 years was up, you was like, man, fuck this, I gotta hear some music.
Not really fuck this, but like, I've graduated. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you feel like, oh, I'm not affected the same way by like music, you know, because music influences you. If you listening to music and it's talking about FBs, FHs and stuff like that, guess what? That's what your mindset is going to be. You're not going to be focused on money. You're going to be focused on women. So it's like, if you change what you're paying attention to, it's going to make it easier to make better decisions. So that's kind of like what I started doing. Once I saw myself like, I'm not smoking as much, I stopped smoking. Oh, I'm not drinking. I'm not doing any of these unproductive habits because I'm not really listening to the, like, not calling it poison, because it is like, you can still find motivation in music, but a lot of the times these niggas ain't talking about shit productive. My favorite rapper, Money Man, because I like how he talk about getting money. I like how he talk about credit. I like how he took rap music and kind of made it more positive. He got some trap stuff in there too, but it's all money based versus a lot of these new rappers, they telling you to do drugs. They telling you to, you know, be a fiend in a way, because they all talk about lean. They all talk about perks. And it's like, the rappers we grew up listening to, they sold drugs. They didn't do them. Yeah, so I'm like, I can't keep listening to these niggas. These niggas is weird. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'd rather listen to people that are getting a lot of money, having a lot of impact, because I'd rather be them who don't got to look over their shoulder versus these people who they can't even enjoy themselves.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Who are your top 5 influence, people that influence you?
I say my mom, just because I seen her go to prison, then I seen her turn her life around in a short period of time. Then I'll also say myself, just seeing my progress is like, damn, bro, like, I used to be fucking homeless. Like, you really turned this bitch up. So always revisiting my past to see not like the traumatic parts of it, but like, damn, you've really grown, bro. So like, that's super inspiring to me. And then, you know, people like him, 500, Brendan, you know, people that are doing things at an extreme level, that's like, damn, I aspire to be like these people.
Damn, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. This segment of the show is Vibing with Vito. Shout outs, man. The floor is yours. You can shout out anybody you want.
Shout out anybody. The first person I want to shout out God. Then I want to shout you out for having me on the
thank
pod.
you, bro.
You know, you ain't had to do that. And I'll shout out my team, shout out my customers, shout out anybody watching this, because if you tuning into this episode, I know this probably ain't the typical episode my bro be having, so I know this episode gonna have a lot of impact on you.
Yeah, facts. We had a couple of these though.
Oh, word?
Like, yeah, nah, like so my podcast is basically the message is purpose over popularity.
Okay.
So I get all walks of life on here. You know what I'm saying? We had a damn fucking plastic surgeon on here last week. So it's not just like,
because I watched a couple episodes, I saw a lot of like musicians come on here.
Musicians are on here. You know what I'm saying? We got the people that run the businesses. We have, people that fix credit. Bro, it's just a diverse group of people, man. But thank you for coming through, man. Tell the people where they can find you.
Y'all can find me at Smartphone Billionaire on Instagram and YouTube. And if you made it to this part of the video, I want to do you a favor. Go to blueprint2capital.com. So blueprint2capital.com/resources. And you'll be able to get some ebooks that could teach you how to get your credit right, how to start getting funding for your business, and literally change your situation.
That's crazy. That's dope, man. It's been another episode of Vibing with Vito. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube. You already know the slogan, we vibrating higher. Tap in with my guy, man. Make sure that you get all of the stuff that he's telling you, because this can change your life. I'm going to even tap in with my dog. So you know what I'm saying? You already know it's lit. We vibrating higher. Gone.